It's a rematch against the Bengals. The almost at this point like hated Bengals, right? Like they kind of reinvigorated that when they drafted Joe Burrow. It's been a lot of fun, right? Like I'm excited. Wild card football is back for the Ravens at least. And you get to play a vaunted rival who try to talk that talk, but you know what? I'm extra excited. I really am. I'm extra excited going into this wild card matchup, this super wild card weekend. It's been a lot of fun so far already. And I mean, I'm telling you, the cap off, the Sunday night cap off with the Ravens and the Bengals, the only thing I can say is Flock Nation, Flock Nation, let's roar. What's funny? What's funny is it was a season that even this show, right? This show started with Joe Burrow ain't gonna do us like that, right? And ironically enough, on Wild Card Weekend, a chance to end each other's seasons. It's the Ravens and the Bengals once again for the third time this year. Very very exciting stuff. A lot to unpack, but first things first. What is going on, good people? DJ here. Flock Nation Speaks preview edition for this Ravens Bengals Super Wild Card Weekend Sunday night football matchup. Man, like it's crazy to think, and I think I said this last week, but it still feels kind of crazy that we're here at this point in the season. It's flown by, but at the same time, it's crazy to think how much different the teams are than we probably expected going into this season, right? I think the Ravens expected to be a little more healthy, and they are on defense, right? Which is a good thing going up against this offense. But on offense, they're still a little banged up. There's still guys trying to get to 100% and stuff like that. Of course, no Lamar Jackson for this game, so that hurts as well. That changes the game, so to speak. But I'm excited, man. Like I don't know what it is about playoff football. It kind of just gives you the like, oh man, let's go, right? Like you just get excited when playoff football comes around. It's just fun, man. Like just even yesterday with the Jaguars game, with the Jaguars and the Chargers and the roller coaster of emotions. Not only the fans going through it in the stadium last night, but just how crazy that game was. It just and the Bills and the Dolphins today, the Giants up on the Vikings right now. It just reminds you that this league really is, and it's getting closer and closer every year to this any given Sunday that we've been promised for years and years and years, right? Like it's funny because let's be honest, any given Sunday was like a moniker, right? Like at first it was like it was something that the NFL strived to be, but let's be honest, there were some teams that weren't going to beat these other teams. Right. And then as of late, these last couple of years, man, it's really been any given Sunday. You don't know what's gonna happen. Right. And right now, there's a lot of teams vying to go 4-0 and get that Super Bowl trophy because that's all you got to do. So that's the exciting part about the playoffs. Everything kind of restarts, everything kind of becomes new again to a certain degree. You hopefully feel like you're at peak performance, and that's exciting, right? That's exciting. That's fun. Like that's the cool part about the playoffs. Like I've heard a lot of people talk about like the one and done aspect of the playoffs. Like I like it, right? I like the one and done, the sudden death aspect of the playoffs, where it's like you don't know what you're gonna get, right? You don't know you know you make one bad play here and it can completely change the game, and then your season's over, and that's how crazy it went, right? A bad call could be the difference between you going to the Super Bowl and you not, right? So I'm excited. I'm excited, especially in this Ravens Bengals, right? Like Ravens Bengals has gotten to that point where like it's become like this big rivalry. I think to a lot of us, right? A lot of us in from Ravens flock, a lot of the people from wherever they from, rule the jungle or whatever they say. Like a lot of the all of us, like we all feel like who day, I guess is what the little thing, whatever. But a lot of us feel like it's like this is like a big deal now. Like we embarrassed them a couple years ago. They embarrassed us last year. So it's like we all just, I mean, we all kind of talkative a little bit, especially when it comes to Ravens Bengals. So this is gonna be a lot of fun. It's gonna be a lot of fun tonight. I'm excited, especially considering we just had this game last week, right? We just had this game last week, and that was a roller coaster of emotions to begin with too. You got the Bengals getting up early off of turnovers, and then you got the Ravens rallying back with a chance to come back, but they just can't get into the end zone, and kind of changes how things go. Now, this game tonight, this and I'm gonna say this a lot, especially when you don't have your superstar quarterback out there with you. It goes back to coaching to me. Of course, it's gonna go back to the run game, but it goes back to coaching too, right? It's really important. Like we've seen some of these backup third string quarterbacks. Like I think Mike McDaniel called a great game for the Dolphins against the Bills, right? I think who's the other? Brock Purdy, the Kyle Shanahan. I think he called a great game for Brock Purdy, and he has for the past couple of weeks. Like good coaches adjust, right? And if we want to believe into the hype of this Ravens coaching staff that everybody wants to put on them, then they got to show us again, right? They got to show us that they are the coaching staff that everybody thinks that they are, because over the past couple of years, like we're going to be honest, right? Especially when it comes to playoff time, this coaching staff been kind of suspect. This coaching staff ain't looked like a coaching staff that's got a Super Bowl winning head coach and then a Super Bowl attending offensive coordinator. It just don't look like that, right? It looked like they got maybe a rookie head coach sometimes and a coming up from college offensive coordinator sometimes, right? Like that's my issue with the Ravens. And at the end of the day, for the Ravens to beat the Bengals, it's going to start with one thing first: coaching, right? Lean like once again, I talked about this last week, and last week was it was pretty interesting how they called the game. And without the turnovers, I think the Ravens win that game. So with this one, you live and die by what you are right at this moment, right now, right? Don't try to be cute. You got Anthony Brown out here. You got Tyler Huntley out here. Don't try to be cute. Get a ball to JK. Get a ball to Gus. Put in a couple of efficient passes to get some, to keep the defense honest. And then after that, like, let the defense do what they do, because that's where the pressure is going to shift, right? Last week, I think the defense played a pretty good game against the Bengals. And we know the Bengals are going to respond. They're a well-coached team, right? They're a really good offense with a lot of talent everywhere. So how can this defense continue to adjust too? Like they're feeling, they're not necessarily even feeling the pressure. They're just like, they're not scared, which I like, right? Like I like that this defense isn't scared of anybody, right? That's a good thing. That's a good quality to have as a defense coming to a game like this, where you're gonna face probably the most talented team in the playoffs, right? Probably, I mean, this team is bar none offensively probably the most talented team in the playoffs, and they got good defensive talent too. But once again, it's going. I want to see John Harbaugh out coach Zach Taylor, right? Like I want to see Greg Roman, out coach the defensive coordinator of the Cincinnati Bengals and showcase that you have, this, the running joke is the vault, right? Showcase that the vault is a real thing, that you got some things under your sleeve, because at the end of the day, you got nothing to lose tonight, right? That's the cool part about the playoffs too, is at the end of the day, yes, like your season could end, but there's no need of playing not to lose, because that loss means you done. And a win in this game could not only spark a run, but that helps Greg Roman get a potential job for next year, right? If he can showcase, hey, like, I can call a pretty good game, right? But at the same time, this offense, keys to the offense to win, right? Keys to the offense to be the kind of key to victory, right? When it comes to the offensive end, play a clean game, number one, right? You got to play a clean game. That's what hurt you last week. You got to play a clean game. You can't give this defense any chances. You can't give this offense any extra chances, right? And you can't put your defense in bad situations. But also commit to who you are. You want to be like, you've committed to it when it comes to personnel. You've committed to it when it comes to the coaches you select. So why don't you commit to it on the field? Commit to being this run first team that has, some efficient passes here and there, right? They can maybe hit a deep shot here and there, right? Because I know Benjamin Victor is going to be playing tonight. I know Andy Isabella is going to be playing tonight. So like you're going to have some different pieces that maybe people aren't expecting to see, right? Or haven't seen much of this season, so they can have some opportunities. So efficient passing, absolutely dominant run. You got to run all over the Bengals, right? Like you got to run, and if that means running away from who's in the middle, I'm blanking on his name, but I mean they got that big defensive tackle in the middle. Like if it's running away from him, do what you got to do, but showcase that you can be not only creative, right, but you can be this kind of run game guru that people feel like you are in Greg Roman, right? And then on top of that, the offense got to execute. Because really coming into this game, I'm not worried about the defense, right? Because the defense has played well. They've given up timely touchdowns, timely scores, but the defense has played well. Offensively, that's been where the issues have been, and that was before Tyler Huntley got in. Before Anthony Brown got in, right, with Lamar out there. The discrepancy in talent on the offensive end, I think, is really hurt. But at the same time, the scheme is really hurt too, right? Create some easy chances for Anthony Brown. Create some easy chances for Tyler Huntley tonight, right? That's the biggest thing. Create some easy chances for your young guys, right? You got young guys out there. Let's give them some easy opportunities. So offensively, one thing you got to be clean. You got to be clean. And secondly, just live and die by that run game tonight, right? Especially when you get to the red zone. Don't try to get cute in the red zone. Live and die on the back of J.K. Dobbins and Gus Edwards, right? On that powerful duo. Defensively, I need turnovers. I've been saying this for weeks and weeks and weeks. I need turnovers. Last week they did a pretty good job of that, right? But I need more. I need turnovers. I need touchdowns. I need flipping field position. I mean, I might need Roquan to come out there and play wide receiver at one point. I need all of this, right? I need the defense to flip the field every chance they get after Burrow, make him uncomfortable. And it's tough because even with a bad offensive line, because everybody complains about the Bengals offensive line and how bad they are, but then when you got talent that can get open like the Bengals can, yes, the offensive line is important, but it also becomes secondary because you got guys that can quickly get open, right? You can scheme them open, and sometimes you ain't even got to. So I feel like defensively, you're going to have to make Joe Burrow uncomfortable, right? Make him uncomfortable. Make him take that extra second. And I think that extra second is going to free up Ojabo to come through, going to free up Tyus Bowser to come through, potentially a guy like Oweh to come through, Justin Metabike to come through, right? That's what's going to free that up, that extra second of a thought of, where is he coming? Because one of the cool things about the Ravens defense, in years past, and what I've always admired about the Ravens defense is they had those kind of, especially when Dean Pease was there, they had those unique blitz packages, and Wink did a pretty good job of it too. But they had this ability to kind of manipulate the quarterback and make him feel like, oh, are we blitzing? Oh, are we not? Right? Who's coming? Who's not? Is he coming off the edge? Is it coming up the middle? What's happening? Right? And I think the Ravens need to get back to that, especially if they're going to have to blitz. Like, be unique in your blitzes. Pull some defensive. I feel like the defensive line falling back in the coverage is a cool play. Maybe not in the middle of the field or nothing, but like especially when you get to the red zone where they ain't got as far as they need to go. So I mean that'll be interesting too. To see what they do. What they do with that and how unique this defense tries to operate just because of the talent that they're playing on the field. But we'll see what happens. But yeah, I want the defense to get turnovers, and I want this offense to be clean. I would love to see this offense explode, but at worst, I want them to play a clean game and lean on the run game. Right? That's the biggest thing. I'm excited, man. For some reason, something is telling me that the Ravens are going to win this game against the Bengals tonight. They're going to send them home, right? They're going to finish the job, and and I don't know if it's just the talkativeness or the rivalry, right? Like it's just that any given Sunday type of feeling. It's the fact that it's Wildcard weekend. It's the fact that the Ravens back in the playoffs. It just got me so excited. But I'm ready, right? I'm ready for this one. It's going to be, in a couple of hours, we're going to be just kicking off, and it's going to be a lot of fun tonight. I'm excited. Leave your score predictions down below. I'm not good at score predictions at all, so I will not be giving one. But I do feel like the Ravens will win this game by hook or by crook. They will win this game, and last thing that I'm gonna say, kind of what I love about the playoffs is like, you ain't got but 4 games to win in a row to win a Super Bowl, right? Easier said than done, right? There's levels to it, right? But it's cool to think like if you get in, if you get in the dance, you can dance in any way you want to, right? Like you can make some moves and do some things that people aren't used to seeing and bring out these extra wrinkles and stuff like that. Like this is your moment. All right, this is your time. This is Greg Roman's time to prove all of these haters that he has wrong. This is John Harbaugh's time to show why. I mean, obviously, there's a reason why you're undefeated in the wild card round. So showcase that, right? Showcase why you're undefeated in the wild card round. The Ravens gonna have to get back to that old adage that we know and love, that play like a Raven adage, right? I feel like a lot of us feel like, is that still a real thing? I think Roquan is kind of, he's given that back to the Ravens, at least on the defensive end. But I mean, offensively, this is going to be kind of old school Ravens football. This is going. I hope it's not like 13-9 old school Ravens football. But I would like to see lean on the run. And if the run game got to be the reason why you win this game, it don't matter. Right. Like at the end of the day, like all the issues you had throughout the season and all the things that came up throughout the season, like that don't really matter right now. Right. You got 4 games to do exactly what you want to do, to be exactly who you want to be. And this is your chance. Let's see what happens. But I'm excited. Hope y'all will be tuning in for the for the game tonight. Let me know what your score prediction is down below. Hopefully it ain't like Hendo said last week, 45-10. We can't have that, but definitely I'm excited, man. The playoffs is back. Ravens playoff football is back, and it's gonna be a lot of fun. But as always, real quick, you can always watch or listen to Flock Nation Speaks on. If you want to watch Flock Nation Speaks, it's on Facebook, it's on YouTube. If you want to listen to Flock Nation Speaks, Apple Podcast, Anchor, Spotify, et cetera, probably on your favorite podcast platform. Those are probably the 3 that everybody likes the most, but it's most likely on your favorite one, and your favorite one's favorite one. But we'll see you guys on the next one. Definitely hope you guys enjoyed the show. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe to. If you're on YouTube, give the page a like. If you're on Facebook, if you're watching here, or just share the podcast. If you felt like I said some good things you want to share with the world, share the podcast too. And we'll see you guys on the next one. Definitely gonna be a fun super wild card. Not necessarily finale, but at least finale for Sunday night with the Ravens and the Bengals. I don't know what it is. I don't know what's telling me. There was something telling me that the Jags was going to beat the Chargers last night. Now, albeit the game didn't start the way I thought it was going to, but it panned out that way. There was something telling me about the Bills and the Dolphins. I felt like the Dolphins were going to win that game, and they had the opportunities. They just, they just didn't get it. But then something about this game is Raven, and it's probably the rivalry in me too, right? It's probably like the fan of the rivalry in me too. Like I don't want to hear the Bengals for one more year talk about how they won the North and they went to the Super Bowl, and I don't want to hear it, right? Like the Bengals, like the Ravens should just go ahead and shut the Bengals' mouths tonight. Just go ahead and shut it down, right? Shut it down. We don't need another year of that. It was terrible. It's been terrible the whole year, so we don't need no more of that. But anyway, as always, definitely hope you guys enjoyed. We'll see you guys on the next one. Who you got? Who you got tonight? Ravens or Bengals? Who knows? Until